At 3:15 in the morning, seismic monitoring stations detected something impossible. The steam blasts erupting across Campi Flegrei's caldera floor were not following normal geological rules. Instead of earthquake-triggered pressure release, the hydrothermal system was exploding in rapid bursts, dozens of steam vents opening simultaneously across Pozzuoli, each one releasing vapor hot enough to kill instantly. This synchronized detonation exposed what Stanford geophysicists have been tracking in secret: a sealed reservoir system beneath the caldera that functions like a continental-scale pressure cooker. When underground fractures breach this system, pressurized water does not escape gradually. It explodes with industrial-grade violence, creating what researchers call phreatic blast networks. But these steam explosions are just a symptom of a deeper crisis. Each detonation destabilizes the crustal lid containing Campi Flegrei's magma chamber, located 8 kilometers below the homes of 500,000 residents. Recent analysis shows the same explosion pattern that preceded the 1538 Monte Nuovo eruption, when similar steam venting escalated into full volcanic activity within months. The most disturbing discovery is this: current pressure readings indicate the geothermal reservoir has exceeded the threshold that historically triggers major eruptions. Yet, instead of evacuating, authorities have classified the steam explosions as routine hydrothermal activity, while 500,000 people continue daily life above an active pressure bomb network. Emergency protocols designed for volcanic eruptions are useless against steam explosions that provide seconds of warning rather than weeks, and each new blast brings the system closer to the critical pressure threshold that could trigger the first supervolcanic eruption in European recorded history. Are authorities deliberately concealing the true danger of a geological pressure system that is already exploding beneath Europe's most populated volcanic zone? And what happens when steam explosion sequences escalate into the kind of eruption that covered the entire continent in ash 39,000 years ago? Campi Flegrei, a vast volcanic complex located west of Naples, Italy, has been a focal point for scientists studying the potential for a devastating eruption in the heart of Europe. The caldera, spanning over 12 kilometers, is the result of a series of massive eruptions that have shaped the region's geology and history. The most catastrophic of these eruptions occurred 39,000 years ago, in an event known as the Campanian Ignimbrite eruption. This supervolcanic blast ejected more than 300 cubic kilometers of ash and volcanic material into the atmosphere, covering much of Europe in a thick layer of debris. The impact on the global climate was significant, with some scientists suggesting that it may have contributed to the extinction of the Neanderthals. The caldera's formation was further influenced by another major eruption 15,000 years ago, known as the Neapolitan Yellow Tuff eruption. This event created the distinctive nested structure of the caldera, with multiple overlapping craters and fissures. Over the past 15,000 years, Campi Flegrei has experienced over 70 smaller eruptions within its caldera, demonstrating its ongoing volcanic activity. The most recent eruption occurred in 1538, giving birth to Monte Nuovo cinder cone after a period of ground uplift and increased hydrothermal activity. Dr. Francesca Bianco, director of the INGV Vesuvius Observatory, explains that Campi Flegrei's eruptive history is marked by periods of quiescence, punctuated by sudden and explosive activity. She says the 1538 Monte Nuovo eruption is a clear example of how quickly the system can transition from apparent stability to a full-blown eruption. In recent decades, Campi Flegrei has shown signs of renewed unrest, and scientists are closely monitoring the caldera for indications of an impending eruption. One key indicator of the volcano's activity is bradyseism, the gradual uplift and subsidence of the ground surface. From 1950 to 1952, the port city of Pozzuoli inside the caldera experienced significant ground uplift of over 70 centimeters. That period of intense bradyseism was accompanied by increased seismic activity and the opening of numerous fumaroles, vents emitting hot gases and steam. Similar episodes of ground deformation occurred from 1969 to 1972 and from 1982 to 1984, raising concerns among volcanologists about the possibility of an eruption. However, these periods of unrest eventually subsided, and they did not culminate in a full-scale eruption. Since 2005, Campi Flegrei has entered a new phase of unrest, with accelerating ground uplift and increased seismic activity. Dr. Giovanni Chiodini, a geochemist at INGV, says that the current uplift rate is about 2 centimeters per month, the fastest observed in over 500 years. This suggests that the magmatic system is becoming increasingly pressurized. The accelerating unrest has prompted Italian authorities to raise the alert level for Campi Flegrei. The current status is classified as yellow, indicating a state of heightened vigilance and preparedness. The recent steam explosions at Campi Flegrei have revealed a new dimension to the caldera's unrest. They exposed a sealed geothermal reservoir acting like a massive pressure cooker beneath the surface. Dr. Tiziana Venorio, a geophysicist at Stanford University, has been studying the reservoir system using advanced seismic imaging techniques. Her research has revealed a complex network of fractures and faults that created a sealed compartment containing superheated water and gases. When these fractures are breached, the pressure is released in explosive bursts, producing the steam blasts now being observed. These steam explosions, known as phreatic eruptions, occur when superheated water trapped beneath the surface is suddenly depressurized, causing it to flash into steam and expand violently. Such eruptions can launch boiling water, mud, and rock fragments into the air at high velocities, posing a significant risk to anyone nearby. Dr. Mauro Di Vito, a volcanologist at INGV Vesuvius Observatory, warns that the current pattern of steam explosions is remarkably similar to the activity observed in the months leading up to the 1538 Monte Nuovo eruption. He says there is a rapid acceleration in the frequency and intensity of these blasts, which suggests the system is approaching a critical threshold. The most alarming aspect of the situation is the speed at which the steam explosions are occurring. Unlike typical volcanic activity, which is often preceded by weeks or months of gradually increasing unrest, the steam blasts at Campi Flegrei are happening with little to no warning. Dr. Venorio explains that the explosions are occurring faster than seismic waves can propagate through the ground. By the time a seismic signal is detected, the explosion has already occurred, a geological example of supersonic speed. While the steam explosions pose an immediate threat to the population living within the caldera, they are also a symptom of a deeper and more ominous problem: the growing instability of the magma chamber beneath Campi Flegrei. Recent studies show that the magma chamber, located at a depth of 8 kilometers, is becoming increasingly pressurized. As the overlying rock fractures and weakens due to the steam explosions, the risk of a sudden and catastrophic release of magmatic pressure increases. Dr. Christopher Kilburn, a volcanologist at University College London, warns that the magma chamber beneath Campi Flegrei is like a loaded gun. Each steam explosion is like pulling the trigger, weakening the geological safety catch that keeps the magma contained. If pressure continues to build, there could be a sudden and explosive failure of the chamber roof. The consequences of such a failure would be catastrophic. Sudden decompression of the magma chamber could trigger a massive eruption, ejecting billions of tons of ash and volcanic material into the atmosphere. The resulting ash cloud could cover much of Europe, disrupting air travel and causing widespread respiratory problems. Moreover, the proximity of the caldera to the densely populated city of Naples puts over 500,000 people in immediate danger. The pyroclastic flows and ash fallout from an eruption could devastate the region, causing widespread destruction and loss of life. Despite growing evidence of an impending eruption, Italian authorities have been reluctant to order a full-scale evacuation of the Campi Flegrei region. The logistical challenges of relocating over 500,000 people and the economic impact on the region have led to a policy of wait and see, a gamble that could have deadly consequences. Dr. Giuseppe De Natale, a volcanologist at the INGV Vesuvius Observatory, warns that the current emergency plans are based on the assumption that we will have days or weeks of warning before an eruption. But the steam explosions have shown that the system can transition from apparent stability to a full-blown crisis in a matter of hours. The rapid escalation of the steam explosions has also exposed the inadequacy of the existing monitoring network. Many of the seismic stations and deformation sensors are located on the periphery of the caldera, leaving large areas of the caldera floor unmonitored. Dr. Venorio argues that we need a much denser network of sensors, particularly in the areas where the steam explosions are occurring. Without real-time data from these hotspots, we are essentially flying blind. As the steam explosions continue to escalate, the clock is ticking for the residents of Campi Flegrei. Each blast brings the system closer to the critical pressure threshold that could trigger a full-scale eruption. Dr. De Natale warns that we are in a race against time. The longer we wait to evacuate, the higher the risk of a catastrophic eruption catching us off guard. We need to act now before it is too late. The Earth Attacks community is dedicated to raising awareness of the imminent danger posed by Campi Flegrei. By sharing your observations, photos, and videos of the ongoing steam explosions, you can help scientists better understand the unfolding crisis and pressure authorities to take action. If you live in the Campi Flegrei region, stay informed about the latest developments and be prepared to evacuate at a moment's notice. Make sure you have an emergency plan in place, including a designated meeting point for your family and a supply of essential items like food, water, and medical supplies. Remember, the steam explosions are just the beginning. The true danger lies in the magma chamber beneath the caldera, which could erupt with devastating force at any moment. By joining the Earth Attacks community and staying vigilant, you can help protect yourself and your loved ones from the unfolding catastrophe at Campi Flegrei. Together, we can work to ensure that the voices of those in danger are heard and that the necessary actions are taken to prevent a tragedy of unimaginable proportions. Stay safe, stay informed, and stay tuned to Earth Attacks for the latest updates on this rapidly evolving situation.